Alright, to finish off your symmetrical drawing, now what you're going to do is come back in and decide where you're going to put your background colors. So I'm just going to start coloring in what I want for the in-between areas. And I could do this with a solid color. I could do this where I'm blending colors, and I think mine's going to fade from like yellows to oranges in my background. Think about how hard you're coloring. If you're coloring really, really soft, then your background color is going to be like a pale watercolor. If you're coloring really, really hard, then your background color is going to be a lot more bright and vibrant. So look at what's already on your board and decide what's going to best show contrast. So like I'm going to do dark along the edges, but then I'm going to fade it into light, and it's going to fade into my yellow here. So I'm not going to color in my entire image for the demonstration. I'm just going to kind of show you a few areas of what mine's going to look like. And then the process is going to be the same, where you get your paintbrush, and I'm going to paint light to dark. So I'm going to paint where my yellow is first, and then I'm going to move into my orange. And because what you painted last class is dry, the color that you had down for the design shouldn't mix in with your new background color. But still, you don't want to paint into what's dry because that will activate the color, and then they could still end up mixing. So I've got those yellows down, and now I'm going to switch over to my orange areas, and that's how you proceed to finish up this assignment. So just like last class, anything that is on dry stretched on a wooden board, and definitely anything that has wet paint on it, needs to go on the drying rack. The drying rack is labeled by table number so that you know where to put your board so that we stay organized so things don't get lost and mixed up. And if you are painting your original design today for the first time, remember that you're still going to want to let your paint colors dry before you start working on your background, because then they're going to mix into each other and they're going to bleed into each other. So just be aware of that if you're still coloring the original design today. So have fun with it, and then put finished paintings on the drying rack. Alright, one more thing that you can think about is your original drawing. If that design got a little blurry where the paint went outside the lines and you can't see it as well anymore, you can always draw back over the top of this. So you could darken up your edging if you want to do that. Another thing that you can do as like doing touch-ups and enhancing is that you could actually dip this watercolor pencil in water, and then when you start to draw, it's just going to turn it to paint as you draw. But it's a process where you have to frequently put it back in water. So that's another thing you might look at. Your work from last class, are your edges still defined with that original design that you had in place? And if not, go back and do some outlining.